on District 1. The area, formerly known as the Black Belt for its large number of African-American voters, is now being fought over by GOP candidates Lori Buckhout and Sandy Smith after the state Supreme Court recently approved new district lines to include 7 mostly white counties. The winner will take on incumbent Democrat Don Davis in the November 5th general election. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FD.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, as the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black history. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does Black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams.
Reason and accountability.
The voice of reason.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Romani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel. So here's our question of the day. Are narcissistic people bad people? Drop it in the comments and let's take this one on. Okay, so let me repeat that question. Are narcissistic people bad people? My answer is this. It's the wrong question. When we let this conversation about the impact of narcissistic personalities and the behaviors that folks with these personalities bring into the relationships and the role of antagonism. When we have this conversation, it makes no sense, and it's actually a little bit risky to let this devolve into some moral and philosophical conversation about good versus bad or good versus evil. When we go there, we miss the subtlety, the nuance, and most importantly, the confusion raised by these relationships, and can make it harder for people to get help if they are in one of these relationships. There's no doubt that especially in a relationship characterized with somebody who has more severe narcissism or more severe narcissistic patterns, that person's conduct may be so chronically invalidating, dehumanizing, betraying, and cruel that, yeah, it feels bad. However, got to remember too that that kind of severity is not sort of the norm in terms of narcissistic people. This personality style is really tricky. When a person with a narcissistic personality feels well-regulated, has enough validation, has enough supply, these people with these personalities, these relationships, actually feel like they work for a minute. There may be flashes of empathy. There may be good moments. It may feel real and connected, and it will be like
I love Dr. Romney, but I'm going to have to disagree. Listen, emotional abuse. Let's put it in terms of slavery. Which aspect of slavery was worse? Physical or the psychological slavery? Many people argue, right, that psychological slavery, which its vestiges still exist today, many people argue that psychological slavery was worse than physical slavery. If you take it over to domestic violence, many people argue, although physical domestic violence is horrible, many people argue that verbal and emotional violence is even worse because the psychological wounds are harder to heal from. Could you make the same argument for the emotional abuse that a narcissistic person inflicts on their supply? Could you make that same argument? And I don't understand how philosophy devalues the clinical aspect. I understand the clinical aspect is rooted in Western science. Western science, the scientific method, right? It has to be something that is replicable, observable. Many of us cannot observe what the Bible called a demon. But I'm going to say narcissism is a demonic spirit that's passed down generationally. I'm going to say that. And I understand, using the same logic as many use for critical race theory, oh, you don't want the narcissist to feel bad, just like they don't want the white kids or the white folk to feel bad about the truth. But let's just be real. If you are emotionally abusing someone, do they perceive that as a type of evil being inflicted upon them? You can't say in one breath the act of slavery was dehumanizing, and in the next breath, well, narcissists dehumanize their supply. But we can't say it's evil. You can say slavery was evil, can't you? But what about psychological slavery in a toxic relationship? Is that too hard to wrap our minds around? Ask the person who escaped a narcissistic person, someone who could never be a victim, or someone who could never be the villain, someone who is never wrong, someone who never apologizes, someone who discredited you, someone who stonewalled you, someone who gaslit you, someone who tried to make your reality seem like it wasn't real. Let's just be real. That's not evil. Why are we afraid of this conversation? All right, before I get back to the phone lines, hey, KBLA Talk 1580 has just released groundbreaking results from a survey about environmental issues and the impacts of pollution and climate change on our community. The poll provides unique insights into Black voter sentiment and preferences on key environmental and social justice issues. The results highlight that there is a direct connection between environmental justice, social justice, and civil rights. Equally important, respondents overwhelmingly believe that pollution, climate change, and other forms of environmental harm impact Black, Latino, and low-income communities more than white, Asian, wealthy, and coastal communities. Now, to learn more about this new survey and our historic year-long climate justice campaign, go to our KBLA 1580 website right now. Go to our KBLA 1580 website right now. At KBLA Talk 1580, we care about the community. We care about the climate. All right, let me get back to my caller, Reggie, because he was about to go in. Reg, get in here, brother.
Man, it's really crazy because I think we give narcissists a pass and this whole discussion a pass because we're so deeply entrenched in it. And it's kind of hard to identify something that you grew up with. It's the norm. It's not abnormal. It's the norm. I went out with this woman, absolutely gorgeous, right? But she was a narcissist. Coming up, she had to fight for attention from her parents, and like, if either you were first or you weren't existed at all, okay? And so she had to be better than somebody. That's because that gave her validation. That gave her some type of existence. And you kind of feel sorry for this person because they're doing evil, no doubt. That everything was always a competition. She would fight to be the best person in sales and agonize everybody toward the end of the year. And it ended up being like one of the best performing salesmen, like, you know what I'm saying, throughout the whole year. It's just she had to create something to get her hype, to get her over that edge. And the narcissism is what fed her. Bro, you know how sad it is when evil feeds you? When you get your nourishment from something that is no good. I mean, it's like having a junk food diet for like a year. It's crazy. And you can look great on the outside, but on the inside, under all of that narcissism, you are absolutely horrid. Oof. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the ugliness in this society is because we're wearing the mask of narcissism. And it's like we don't even know how deeply entrenched we are in this subject because it's the norm. You know, it's what powers us. We got to look inside instead of outside. And I mean, of course, I had to break up with this woman, but man, I just feel sorry for her that she had to compete with everything and everyone just to feel normal.
Heavy stuff. Heavy
yeah,
stuff.
Man. So I guess as far as like unraveling this thing, how do you unravel this, and is there any help for a narcissist?
I think there is. I think narcissists can become self-aware, right? There's a gentleman, I play some of his videos, a brother. He calls himself a self-aware narcissist. And you have to understand, many narcissists are operating, unconsciously. This is just how they've been. Right? I forgot the guy's name. Anybody in the chat room who knows the guy's name, please let me know and I'll say his name. I've played some of his clips here on the Voice of Reason show, but many narcissists are unconscious of what they do. They really can't see that being unempathetic is not they can't see that that's not good for their partner. But yet they get something out of it. They get some type of payoff for being that way, right? But they don't really understand. And so he calls himself a self-aware narcissist. And I think once you become self-aware as a narcissist, you can like kind of manage yourself a little bit better, right? You can manage how you show up a little bit better, I think. But Lee Hammock, that's his name. Lee Hammock. I want you guys to go to Lee Hammock, go to his YouTube page. He puts out a plethora of narcissistic videos from the perspective. Yeah, he's a brother. He got dreads, or locks, I should say. He comes from a plethora of perspectives, but he's coming from the self-aware narcissistic perspective, and he kind of educates you on what to look for when dealing with someone who may have narcissistic tendencies. So I don't think it's something that can be healed, right? From a clinical space. I don't think so. From a clinical space. again, I don't want to say something that scientists and clinicians may look at as falsifiable, which is something that can't be proven wrong, right or wrong, right? But I do believe that some spirit work could deal with it. Now, I don't want to prescribe anything, but I'm just saying, right? I do believe that. Now, you may not believe that, and that's your prerogative, but that's my thought process on that. Reggie, guess what you just did, brother?
Brought Austin in the building. Talk to you.
Austin, Texas is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We got Houston, we got Dallas, and somebody else is calling in.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jill, otherwise known as The Enlightened Target, and this channel is devoted to narcissistic abuse awareness and recovery, parental alienation, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and anything and everything associated with those three main topics. Today, we are going to explore a hypothetical question that is a continuation of the last video I made, which was about narcissism and the Bible, and if the Bible addresses narcissism, and if so, what does it say? So if you haven't watched that video, I encourage you to do so before you watch this one. So today we are asking the question, is there such a thing as human evil? And if so, what would the diagnostic indicators be in order to actually diagnose someone as evil? Now, evil isn't in the DSM, and I sincerely doubt that it ever will be. However, in my opinion, I think it should be. Evil is the only word that accurately describes certain people. We use the word psychopath, sociopath, malignant narcissist, but we tend to shy away from calling evil deeds committed by evil people evil. I know that I have struggled with this question many times throughout my life. If I felt like someone was evil.
Just pause it real quick, because she's cooking right now. So, you do know 75% of most grandiose, or 75% of grandiose narcissists, or most narcissists are men, right? The majority of grandiose narcissists are men. But they're now starting to realize the majority of most covert narcissists or vulnerable narcissists are women. Reggie just gave us an example of one. And you have to, listen, we have to get past the sexist bias that doesn't want to see women as potentially evil in this relational context. Yeah, there are some bad covert narcissists out there that will break you emotionally. To me, that's evil. That will devalue you as a person. To me, that's evil. That will discard you. To be discarded is to be thrown away. You only throw things away that don't have value. Is that not in alignment with being considered property? Once a piece of property has experienced obsolescence, what do? You throw it away. You upgrade it, right? There are many women covert narcissists. They feign as vulnerable. They're not vulnerable. They feign as nurturing. They're not nurturers. They feign as kind and lovable. They're not. They're setting you up with the same tactics that narcissists use. Love bombing. Oh, I've never loved anybody like you. Oh, I've never felt this way before. Oh, you're such a special person. Oh my God, I can't believe that God blessed me with you. And then they start to traverse into another space. My last boyfriend did this. I don't know why you can't. My last boyfriend was like this. And you know what? Although he was abusive, he was also a stand-up dude. And, you know, I'm cool with all my exes. Really? Pay attention, y'all. Pay attention. Go ahead, finish it.
Evil. I know that I have struggled with this question many times throughout my life. If I felt like someone was evil, I would often feel guilty about even using that word. Who was I to call another human being evil? Isn't evil only reserved for the devil? That was my thinking at the time. Then I would ask myself, well, what do you call a human being who robs you, blackmails you, smears you with the most repulsive things you have ever heard, kidnaps your 14-year-old child out of your home on his birthday while you're sleeping and slashes your tires and cuts your brake line. What is the proper and appropriate word for someone like that? What is the appropriate word for a human being who intentionally forces his own child to hate his mother, who teaches the child to spit in the mother's face, convincing the child she's deserving of such treatment? Do you say that person is mean or that person is bad? I don't think those words do these vicious acts.
Do you see what's happening? Listen, does this not go back to my original mantra for this show? Do I need to pull out Krishnamurti yet again? It is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a toxic, sick society. And this is where we live. Our parents model where we live. According to Ross Kubler in his book, something about the magnet. I'm sorry. I'll pull up the name of it in a second. In his book, he breaks it down. He used the same analogy that I use. I was reading his book today, and that is your family is a track team, and you guys are passing down broken batons to each other. If your mother is a narcissist, if your father is a narcissist, if your mother is codependent, if your father is codependent, if you just have one parent and they might be codependent or they might be a narcissist, whatever baton they got handed down, they are in the process of handing it down to you. And this is going to serve as your relational magnet when you become an adult. Oh, man, this is heavy stuff. Let me get somebody in here right now. Oh, no. Let's wait because we're up against the break here. And listen, people get mad. A narcissist is going to get mad at you if you tell your story. A narcissist wants to keep their evil secret. They don't want their cover blown. Do you understand? They want to keep their secrets secret. If you start telling the truth, hey, I made a mistake. I lied. I cheated. Typically, in a healthy relationship, something called disclosure reciprocity happens. You know what? I was a foster child and I was abused and this happened to me and that happened to me. A narcissist is resistant to disclosure reciprocity. They don't want you to know the ins and outs and the intricacies of how they work because they don't want to give you the tools to unravel that damn mask. That mask is all they have. When I come forward, Houston, Mississippi, and Dallas, Texas.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Maryland is joining the Federal Trade Commission and attorney generals across the U.S. in suing to block the proposed merger between major grocery store chains Kroger and Albertson. The lawsuit alleges the merger will lead to higher prices for millions of Americans. Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown, who is black, said a majority of Marylanders who responded to a survey last year expressed concerns that the proposed merger would be harmful to consumers. With the North Carolina primary election now just about a week away, a lot of political eyes are watching the hotly contested race for the Republican nomination in Congressional District District 1. The area, formerly known as the Black Belt for its large number of African American voters, is now being fought over by GOP candidates Lori Buckhout and Sandy Smith after the state Supreme Court recently approved new district lines to include 7 mostly white counties. The winner will take on incumbent Democrat Don Davis in the November 5th general election. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, as the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black history. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
Hey Californians, are you ready to make your home ownership dreams come true? The California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program might be for you. First-generation homebuyers can get down payment and closing cost assistance along with a first mortgage to help you unlock the door of your new home. Applications open in April, so talk to an approved lender to see if you're eligible. Find out more at calhfa.ca.gov/dream or call 877-922-5432. A message from the California Housing Finance Agency.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Some people just know the best places to eat around town. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate. They know exactly where to go to get exactly what you're wanting. They know where to find the spiciest hot pot, the gooeyest brownies, and the tenderest, most flavorful portobello steak. Those people also know that safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Saving 40% is based on the national average premium savings for Allstate auto customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need to hear the doctor's voice of reason.
So I got this two-timing chick who got her revenge from when I was on my two-time tip. And even when I tried to correct it, she couldn't get past how she was disrespected, neglected my effort, a pair with no trust, dirty games and affairs that been tearing us up. If things ain't picture perfect, is it really worth it? I have an idea, but I need to know for certain.
I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need to hear the doctor's voice of
The more you learn about the phenomenon of narcissism, there are times when you have to come to terms with some truths that you just don't want to have to come to terms with, but there it is. And I'm wanting to talk with you about that today, especially about the fact that narcissists, as they go deeper and deeper down the spectrum, can have a form of darkness on the inside that they're drawing upon that keep them from being able to be anything other than impossible. You know, from time to time, we do hear stories. I hear stories of testimonials of people who have had that bent, but they've been able to contain themselves. You know, healthy individuals realize, I could have some of those characteristics of narcissism. I can have that control, and I can want to try to be superior, and sometimes I'm selfish and insensitive, with empathy being in low supply. But healthy individuals, when they see that, they do something about it. They own it, and they recognize that there's this thing called maturation and growth and actualization. And so they go into that space in such a way where they keep it at a very minimal kind of containment, and it doesn't run away from them the extent that they're...
Are y'all listening to this man? See, because I know sometimes y'all minds be drifting or whatnot. He said healthy people understand that they're basically dealing with a whip, a work in progress. There's maturation. You can't be complete and be a whip at the same time. So spiritual maturation, emotional maturation, psychological maturation is necessary for growth. Self-awareness, necessary for growth. Narcissists are not self-aware. Do you see? They think they're complete. They already think they're at the top of the mountain. Do you see? Healthy people make room for the mistakes of their partner and themselves. It's called grace. Okay, let him finish.
Into that space in such a way where they keep it at a very minimal kind of containment, and it doesn't run away from them to the extent that their healthy ingredients can come out to the forefront. The further down the spectrum of narcissism that you go, then it does become more evident that capacity for adjustment it doesn't show up, to the extent that it illustrates that a form of darkness has completely enveloped, and we can say ensnared or captured, that individual's personality. And when we say that they have a sense of darkness, there are times when we'll even refer to words like evil. And we'll acknowledge that these are individuals who are completely entrenched. They're in the grip of their darkness. They are immovable. They're just simply not going to change and adjust. And the person who's going to pay the price is going to be you. So it's going to be necessary for us to identify how an individual...
Dr. C over there cooking. Man, in the intricate mosaic, this picture of human relationships, there exists a phenomenon that is as captivating as it is unsettling. The presence of relational shapeshifters. These malevolent individuals, cloaked in the guise of charm and charisma, possess the capacity to morph and manipulate their identities to suit their nefarious agendas. Drawing inspiration from the profound insights of Dr. Ramani, right? An eminent American clinical psychologist specializing in narcissism, we have embarked on a journey to unravel the enigma of the demonic relational shapeshifter. Now, Dr. Ramani herself doesn't agree with the term demonic because it implies philosophy, as Dr. Ted said, philosophy as well as theology, and that doesn't fit within the scientific model. But I believe when you look up the definitions and the etymology of these words, that they actually have the adequate definitions for what is happening. To me, emotional abuse and psychological abuse, to me, personally, anecdotally, is equivalent to evil. You don't have to agree, but I think so. At the core of our exploration lies the fundamental question: how can one effectively recognize and identify a relational shapeshifter in their life? This question serves as the compass guiding us through the labyrinth of complexities of human behavior and relationships, right? We're going to delve deep. We're going to try to delve even deeper when we get these callers into the nuance of the clinical, the philosophical, the psychological, and social realms. We've been trying to do it all night long. We've got callers on the line, and they want to talk about it as well. What's our time? Oh, perfect. Let me get them in here. Attila, Houston, Texas. Get in here.
Uncle Zoe.
What up? What up? What up? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Let me just say this. You gave me too much credit. This was a joint effort.
No, you did this.
No, I mean, I did some questions. Okay, I ain't finna trip on that. But let me just say this: I do have a little bit of pushback, just a little bit.
Give it to us.
For starters, yes. For starters, I think we focus way too much on trying to pin down and, in a sense, understand the narcissist. It's no different than trying to please them. You can't please the unpleasable. Because, to be honest, you are the battery in their back.
Ooh, take the battery out. Come on, take yourself out of it.
Yeah. If we're talking about shapeshifters, in order to shift, if we're talking about lichens, vampires, right, you want to go there, they need a catalyst. You are that catalyst. Your supply is the catalyst. So it is imperative for you to know you. As my brother Nazreen would say, presence. All that really means is authenticity. If you don't have authenticity, then they're just going to eat off of the plate that you serve them. So what's on the plate that you serve them? Your people-pleasing, your anxiety, your trying to be a savior to them, right? That's a big one. That's a big one. A lot of people in the chat were talking about.
Let me stop you. Ooh, Lord, this is good. So Ross Rosenberg, the human magnet syndrome, right? You got to get that book, The Human Magnet Syndrome, The Codependent Narcissist Trap. And what he outlined is that narcissists are attracted to codependent folk, right? Because typically narcissists are made in the crucible of a narcissistic parent and a codependent parent, or one of the other, right? You hear how Krishnamurti says relationship is a mirror, right?
Right.
Oh,
right.
You also see how the damn attachment styles mirror each other. Could you argue that the anxious, preoccupied attachment style might align perfectly with the codependent? And would you say that the dismissives kind of lock in with the narcissistic pieces? Maybe talk to me.
Okay, so as someone who exhibits traits of both an anxious and a dismissive, Lord help me, in the moments, I could tell you like kind of what I'm thinking. So in the moments where I'm anxious, there's that feeling that you don't want the person to leave you. So that's that abandonment wound, right? That's the worthiness wound. So there's a lot of things there, right? But when you switch over to that more so dismissive side of things, right, that also is attacking the same wounds. It's just the way that you respond that's different. So let me explain what I mean. So if you're anxious and you're feeling the abandonment wound, you squeeze tighter. If you're avoidant and you're feeling the abandonment wound, you're like, well, I mean, they can kick rocks. So that's kind of like what you were saying in terms of a person ghosting you. Now, my pushback, just real quick. Now, codependents stay too long. So any type of quote unquote abandonment or ghosting, you can't even logically think or possibly think that there is a reason that a person would walk away from you, because a healthy person will walk away from you. So that's my only pushback there is that, when it comes to quote unquote ghosting someone, right, there are reasons behind that. And I think that when we're talking about people who are narcissistic or maybe more dismissive, right, they're going to ghost when it essentially is benefiting them to ghost. Not because it's the healthy thing to do, but because it is the convenient, beneficial thing to do. So if you hit a wound, it is beneficial for me to leave because I don't want you to see me bleeding. Right? If you are narcissistic and this person has caused an injury to you, it is beneficial for me to leave because if I don't, the mask will slip. Now, granted, the mask is going to slip either way, but I think there comes a critical mass period where essentially the mask has slipped so much that they can't control themselves. They don't have very good regulation. So a person who doesn't have good regulation cannot contain themselves very well, right? That. So a good. Sorry?
Okay, you cooking too much. We gotta get Nikki. We gotta get Truemonger. You cooking too much.
Okay, my bad. All right,
Lord,
look,
we love
thank you for picking the topic. Love y'all. All right, peace.
I'll tell her Broad Houston in the building. She's on complete fire when we come forward. We're going to Dallas and we're going to Mississippi, man. This is crazy.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
LADWP is proud to partner with KBLA to share with you how to start the new year without bill worries. We're here to help if you're behind on your bill or need help staying current. Sign up anytime online for Level Pay to set predictable monthly payments throughout the year, including for past due amounts. You can also check out the special extended pay arrangements of up to 48 months to help pay down your bill. If you're a senior or income qualified, you may be eligible for Easy Save to receive discounts and also qualify for free and discounted energy and water saving devices. You can get up to $15,000 for past due water and or sewer bills and up to $3,000 for electric bills. But you gotta act fast. Funding is limited. You can reduce your past due bills and kick off the year right, because here at LADWP, we're here to help. Visit ladwp.com/cares today and find out more.
City of Los Angeles tenants know these facts about eviction and consumer debt. Tenants can't be evicted if rental arrears are eligible to be treated as consumer debt. Tenants who followed certain COVID-19 pandemic protections under state law can't be evicted for past due rent. Landlords can collect rental arrears in court as consumer debt, but tenants cannot be evicted if they provided a declaration of COVID-19 hardship and paid 25% of rent owed. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same.
For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Watch me! Watch me! I got it. Watch me. I got it. Hey! I got something that makes me wanna shout.
James Brown. That boy put the stank on it now. The father of the funk. Yo, you're listening to the Voice of Reason live on KBLA Talk 1580. Tonight has been a wild one. Let me get my last few callers in here. Truemonger, I need you to keep it short, brother. Get in here.
I heard payback's a breath on the trigger. That's why I'm sick of getting treated like another damn stepchild. Kill a punk cause I ain't him. You gotta deal with the 9 double.
Hey.
Yeah.
Truemonger, what up, brother?
Yes, sir.
So what are
What's
your
up,
thoughts
man? How
real
you doing?
quick, man? I'm good.
Real quick. On narcissist evil, like we were saying earlier, intent is very important when it comes to stuff like that. Some people may do it out of habit, and then they were never taught any better. Some people use those tendencies purposely. Like speaking for myself, earlier in life, I would use narcissistic tendencies as like a shield, like armor, if I was hurt by something. So I'll react in a narcissistic way. And then once I took time to reflect on what I was doing, got myself right. But a lot of people, especially nowadays, are conditioned to act like that because they think it's cool. At the end of the day, it's really not. But it's up to them to, and you can, like outside people can point out all they want, and they may pay attention to it and it might sink in. But eventually, it has to sink in for themselves. They have to realize it for themselves. If they're actually trying to change, they have to want to get the help.
Absolutely.
But too many people find that to be cool, and it's really not.
I got you, brother. Guess what you just did?
This is Bar Dallas in the building.
Dallas is in the building. Nikki from the SIP. We gonna need that sermon. We gonna need that truth tonight. No, just let her come on in. We know this is her theme song. Nikki from the SIP, please give us some insight.
Brother Zoe and the fam. Food for thought.
Here we go.
Brother Thomas Aquinas, for us Catholics, gave us some food for thought relative to forms of evil, moral, physical, metaphysical. Something we should think about. We teach our children early. So if you're in this environment where you have broken people teaching us broken things, and you watch the Saturday morning cartoons, for instance, The Incredible Hulk to me is a shapeshifter. The Super Friends are shapeshifters too. Wonder Twins activate. But then after you go so long in life, having not learned how to identify the forms of the evil that you see. You run into the movie called Constantine, where there are people who really can see the forms, but we haven't learned what we're looking at because we were watching the Super Friends thinking that the shapeshifters were cool, even though if it was big and green. Not having thought about anger on some levels to the point where it makes you change your shape can be perceived as a form of evil because you have angered him to the point where anything that's not of God can be perceived as evil. And I would humbly submit, if you make me angry and you won't like me when I'm angry, you've walked away from God. Something else to think about.
Listen, you lose your anger. You lose your temper. Domestic violence, to me, that's evil. Homelessness, that's evil. Houselessness, or, that's evil. Disease, evil.
Correct, especially disease, because particularly from a mental perspective, I could never work on the mental wards going through nursing school because I believe them. When they tell me that they see people and hear voices, I believe that. My faith tells me that's possible. So if they tell me they saw it, I believe them. And still do.
Right.
So if we're not learning early how to recognize what it is that we see, what we're looking at, then as we develop, we're going to miss all the cues. And so then you're susceptible to, on the three fronts, moral, physical, and metaphysical, the attacks that are coming to you because you haven't learned how to recognize what it is you're looking at.
Well,
it's too late.
Doesn't the Bible say something about principalities?
Correct. But see, we're not teaching our kids because we're watching Super Friends with mask on that the principalities can exhibit those exact same. That's what makes them shapeshifters.
Right.
Like, what was it they said? Get your hand out of my pocket in Malcolm X. They got you looking left and it's coming right, but you don't know that. You're not seeing it as coming at you that way because you've been taught, you've been relaxed into a place where, wait a minute, that's Super Friends. One just want to activate. They do cool things, but they can exhibit those not cool things too.
Right. No, I agree. Nikki, guess what you just did, my love?
I'm about to sit in. I love you.
Hey, I love you too. We appreciate it. And let me just say this really quickly. For all those who want to make the distinction, the religious, the philosophical, the theological, whatever, between the clinical and all of that. There's a book I think you should read by Fritjof Capra. Fritjof Capra. The 35th edition, anniversary edition with a new preface by the author, right? The name of the book is called The Tao of Physics, an exploration of the parallels between modern physics and Eastern mysticism. Whether you like it or not, science is actually catching up to spirituality, or at least coming into the realm in terms of their definitions. So when you hear the scientific model, scientific method, all of that, listen, science is catching up. And at some point, they're going to discover the evil nature of narcissism. When I come forward, it'll be tomorrow and I have another topic. But listen, my girl, your girl, our girl, gonna keep the fire lit. Jill Monroe, RSVP with Jill Monroe up next. I'ma holla back. Deuces.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton here